Today we're going to take a look at the ModVapa Sub2 tank from ModVapa.com. Go grab a vape and drink. We'll be right back. Alright, so welcome back. We're going to take a look at the, like I said, the ModVapa Sub2 tank from ModVapa.com. I know it's another sub tank that's on the market. There's not much innovation onto this one here, but we'll break it down. We'll take it down low, and then we'll take it apart. We'll talk about it, some of the features, what I like about it. We'll come back up on top, and I'll tell you my thoughts. I did find this on the web at a place called Vapor World. Regular price is $39.99. It's on sale for $32.99. At the end, I'll tell you if it's worth that money or not. And again, like I said, I got this from Vicky over at ModVapa, www.modvapa.com. Link will be down below. So let's just take down below, and then we'll take it all apart, and we'll talk about it some. So hold on one second. Alright, so here we are, down below. And this is the way the tank came in here. It's just like the other tank that the mod comes in. It says ModVapa. Has all the QR code, has everything onto it here, has all your warnings. Like I said, it's basically the same boxes that the mod comes in, just a smaller version of it. So you open this up here, and you only get, when you get this here, is you get the tank minus the juice. If yours comes with juice, I would probably send it back. Just my opinion. I left the juice into it because I've been really hitting on this here, and I didn't feel like cleaning it. So you take the mod out, take the tank out here, and you first take a look at it here. This is a 303 stainless steel from top to bottom, 3.5 Pyrex glass. I love the Cylon airflow onto this. They're about 15 millimeters on each side onto this here, and you can adjust them, and where you put it, it's smooth as butter, but it's not like freely spinning. You definitely you have a little bit of tension onto it to keep it right where it's got to be at. Standard 510 drip tip, dual O-ring onto it. It's fit onto all my other 510s, have fit onto here, and this is fit onto everything also, except for Atlantis doesn't, because Atlantis has its own little creature. But like I said, standard 510 onto that. You look at the hole, the bore onto it, it's a very small hole from the bottom to the top. It's not like some of them that try to give you a big wide bore tip and then the bottom is small, so it's basically still a small, just makes it look big. This one's small all the way through. I'm gonna say it's probably comparable to, say, like your maybe like a K-Fun size hole all the way through, and the same thing as it goes down through the chimney here. It's the small, narrow. This is going to produce a lot of vapor, but it's really going to produce more for your flavor than it is your vapor. So let's see what else comes into the package here, and then we'll go into the tank some more. That's it for what there was there. There's no replacement glass. They do have replacement coils, which they sent to me separately, but like I said, this was no coil installed, and the coil that came with it was in a little silver envelope like this here. You lift this up here, and the only thing else you have into here is your owner's manual for the tank. Very well illustrated, very descriptive. Tells you how to fill it, tells you how to adjust your juice flow control, your airflow control. Very, very excellent onto that. Like I said, it's very descriptive, very well illustrated. So we'll put that away to the side for now. Let's just put that away here. Let's get back to the tank here. Like I said, this is 303 stainless steel. It is 22 millimeters across this way here, 46 millimeters from top to bottom. Your 510 connection is relatively, I would not use this on any hybrid. It's just like right there, so I would definitely not recommend using this on any hybrid whatsoever. To replace the coils onto this here, this is where I have a little issue with it. But let's take this apart and then I'll tell you my little issue. Well, there's one of the issues right there. I got to take the bottom off and the coil stayed inside of the tank itself. So you got to take that out, and we got another issue. I don't know if you can see that. I'm unscrewing the coil, and I'm trying to do this without spilling the juice that's in there. And there's the coil. But, oops, there's still something inside of here. So, let me get a little vapor napkin here. A little vapor towel. And gotta get this off in there. I have to get a bowl here. Hang on, I'm gonna dump this into a bowl. There we go. Alright, so now here's the other issue. Got to get that cover off in there. So, got to take the glass out. And there's your chimney. Hang on, let me grab another vapor towel here so you can see what I'm talking about a little bit better. This part of it, of that coil, is stuck into here. So, got to get that out. And there it comes. There it is. That's the part that screws into here. And the issue with that is that when you're putting all of this together, you have your coil assembly that screws onto here, but you got to have this cover onto your coil itself. And then you would need to have that screw into here. But the problem is, you're screwing your coil into here, and then you're putting that cover onto here, and then it's got to go into the tube here, which is also that way. So when you back off, they should have made something here with a backwards thread, reverse threading, because what's happening is it gets caught, and as you see what happens, one piece comes out at a time. So that's kind of a downer onto that. Let's put this back together. We'll throw some juice into this. This tank is a 3.5 capacity, if I didn't mention that. But before we throw the juice into here, I'm going to show you how to change the coils, because that is kind of a pain in the butt also. Not so much, but it is a pet peeve of mine. Here's your juice flow control that you can... There's your cotton, and my hands are wet, so as you can see, you can adjust your juice flow to whatever juice that you are running. If you're running like 90 to 100%, you'd want it wide open. Say 70 or 60, you might want to run it halfway. 50-50, you might want to bring it down more. It all depends on what you want for your juice, but you do have the airflow control. But now, like I said, to change the coil, and you got to have this cover, because this is the only one that you have that comes with it. So you got to have this. You got to unscrew this off your coil, and it's kind of a pain in the butt, because the coil is going to be wet, so it's hard to grip. Even though it does have your knurling on each end, it's still very hard to swap out. So let's throw that onto here, and I have a 0.5 here so we'll just throw this one on here. But anybody that has, like, Atlantis, Sub-Tank, or any of them, when you go to change your coil, a lot of times you take it out of the base, you toss that away, throw a new coil. Well, you do that here, you don't have this cover anymore. And I don't see anywhere on the website where you could buy the cover. So that's kind of a downfall in itself there, of having to save and replace that. I don't understand the reasoning for it, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. So we got this back onto here now, and screw that into your base here, and make sure our bases we're nice and tight into there, and we got our juice flow open to where we want it to be. We're using some Vape Shack 808 Vanilla Custard Pie 70-30 mix onto this here. So let's throw some into here, and then we'll take some rips onto it. And again, this is a bottom fill only, so you kind of lose half a tank, even though it is a 3.5. If you could have a top fill, you'd have another whole half a tank that you could put more juice into. So that's kind of a downfall in itself there with the bottom. I'm not a big person on the bottom fill, only because you're constantly having to take it off the mod and having to replace it. So it could be, it could be a pain in the ass. You can end up stripping if you can end up stripping out your mod. There's a lot of bad things that could happen. You can strip out your 510. So let's throw this onto this mod here and see what we're at. And this is a 0.5 on the ohms. See if the camera will pick that up. Come on. But there. But we're gonna run this right at 50 watts, and I'll tell you what I'm tasting on the 0.5 ohms. Because they said it can go up to 50 watts. Very, very good. All right, let's take this up on top. We'll talk about it some more, tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then I'll tell you my opinion. So that's going to do it, so hang on 1 second and we'll be right up on top. Alright, so here we are back up on top. Again, the product we took a look at was the ModVapa Sub2 tank from ModVapa.com. Again, thank you, Vicky, for sending this over. Like I said at the beginning, where I found this at Vapor World for regular price $39.99, on sale for $32.99. Would I recommend it? Yeah, it's about the right price point for it. Some of the things I like about it, I do like that little drip tip. I mean, and it's a standard 510 where every 510 except of course the Atlantis fit in there very, very well. I'm not impressed with the chimney. I wish it was a little bit bigger, but for flavor wise, this thing, it gives you superb flavor over even the Atlantis. Atlantis is really one of my favorite tanks overall, the Atlantis 2 and the 1, and they are really one of my favorites altogether. And this one gives the better flavor to me, much better. When I compare it to the Fury tank that I did a couple weeks ago, it's right in the same flavor ballpark for that, and I was drooling over that tank, and I still use that one every day. The coils, they are organic cotton, and I do like that you have the 0.2, the 0.5, and the 1.2. I'm not a big fan of having to change that top cap, because like I showed you there, where you got the one screwing into the base, then you got to screw that onto there, and then it's got to screw into the top of the tank, and you saw how it got stuck into there. Another drawback onto that is if you lose that, so just by accident, because you're replacing coils, toss it, driving along or whatever, some people throw shit out the windows. But anyways, you lose it. Are you going to be able to replace that little top cap? If not, this is not going to be any good to you, because you don't have that top piece for the coil. So that's kind of a downer also. But overall, the flavor onto this, the airflow onto this, they're all good. Another con is I wish it was a top fill, but it's not. It's bottom fill. So again, you have to unscrew it off your mod. It would have been more ideal if you could fill it from the top. So like I said, would I recommend it? Yeah, it's still about the right price point for this, because you're going to make up a lot in flavor. You're going to make up a lot in, like I said, it's you're not going to win any cloud competitions, but for flavor wise, this is a very, very good tank. Alright people, again, www.modvapa.com. Link will be down below for that, and I'll even leave a link over for Vapor World if you want to go check out that tank. That's going to do for today, folks, so until the next time, keep vaping.